And just like magic floating through the air, I am live. How are you, Renee?
I'm amazing. It is spring. No more jumpers.
You mean it's fall?
Spring. Yeah, we're opposite. Remember,
Oh,
I've
that's
just
right.
eaten
That's right.
breakfast. We just had dinner.
We got
Yeah.
to explain this to people. First of all, before I insult you too much, tell everybody this is Renee. Tell everybody what your last name is.
Okay, Straumietis.
Straumietis.
Real simple. Very
Yeah.
simple. Rolls off the
Renee
tongue.
Straumietis.
You got it. Bang.
But if you're reading it though, it could throw you for a loop.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, I talked with Zeus last week, and I didn't even try.
Yeah,
like,
both her and I are exactly the same. Just Zeus and Renee or Nay, and it works.
Yeah, so let me explain why we had that 30 seconds of seasonal and time confusion. As we like to say in the southern United States, you ain't from around here. So
No.
Where are you from? Where are you at right now?
I am in Sydney in Australia.
That's
on the other side of the world.
So it is Friday morning.
Yes.
And it is spring.
It is spring. It is, what is the date today? So it's the 4th today. So it's our 4th day of spring. It was absolutely beautiful yesterday. It was, I think, 30 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Hot and delightful. But today is a little bit, it's still warm, but we've gone overcast and raining. So it's okay.
Well, see, in here, we're ready for, and I don't like the heat. I like fall and spring because it's cooler in winter. So we're about to move into fall. We're 2 weeks away from where it goes from being 90s and 100 with a lot of humidity. It's going to start being in the 60s and 50s where I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind fall. I think spring's probably my favorite time of the year, but I do so much more prefer the hot weather over our cold. I mean, our cold's not cold, but for us, it's cold.
What is it cold? What's a cold temperature there?
Last weekend we had, I think, 4 degrees, 8 degrees. It's normally like around the 8 to 12, maybe. So it's definitely not cold, but we don't dress appropriately. And our housing isn't fitted a lot of places with like heating and that sort of thing. So that's where we struggle, I guess.
But you're known as a tough bunch. So
we are very tough.
Very tough. All right. So let me tell everybody how I met you there. I was making sure I'd shared it to the right page. I met you through Chastity Snowden.
Yes.
And she owns and has a company called the Fearlessly Authentic Movement, FLA Movement, and .com is the website. It's at the bottom of the screen. Chastity grew up close to where I live now. So I live pretty much in her hometown. We talked about, I've had her on many times to talk about her story that took her to the CrossFit Games. She now lives in Boca Raton, Florida, and she has a coaching team. You're one of the coaches.
I am.
And you coach nutrition.
Yes.
Do you coach CrossFit where you live too? Do you do any coaching? Or are you part of a CrossFit community?
I've actually just recently joined a new CrossFit gym and I'm loving it. Oh no, we're actually not a CrossFit gym. Sorry. So I'm a part of Rec Gym over in Kirrawee at the moment. So it's been an amazing change and I'm loving every minute of it. But yeah, I'm still doing a little bit of coaching. I've gone more into some personal training lately, so not so much group training anymore. I guess with all the stuff that happened with Corona and the shutdown of gyms, I ended up doing a panic buy of some gym equipment and we've fitted out our garage downstairs. So it's been awesome because when it was all shut down, I got to train. And now I've just gone more into one-on-one PT. So it's good.
What do you like? What you said you just changed gyms and you're loving it. Was there a main difference or was it just time for a different environment?
Just time for a change, yeah. Different environment. I think you can not outgrow, but you need change sometimes. So yeah, it's been maybe long overdue.
Do you seek change? I mean, and you're way younger than me. As you get older, change is more difficult to endure. Are you someone that seeks change intentionally?
I don't know if I seek it intentionally, but I do know that it is beneficial for us. I guess it depends on what the change is. I'm not going to say I love it, but if it does come up, I'll deal with it and try to push on and make it as good as I can of whatever situation it is. Yeah.
How is the lockdown looking there? Are you guys completely lifted? Is there any COVID restraints?
So I'm in the state of New South Wales. We are okay on I guess the corona front at the moment. It's a little bit sketchy. We've had the second wave kind of start coming through. We've been okay. There's still restrictions on like certain people in a space.
Yeah.
All the gyms are open again. I think the 24-hour gyms you need to have a COVID marshal. So if you were a 24-hour gym, you have to have a designated person there, not instructing or anything. So a lot of those have cut their hours back. But Victoria, which is another state, and Queensland, our borders have been shut off again. So even though we're within the same country, because Victoria's had a massive second wave come through, so they went back into lockdown completely. So as a state, we're okay, but it's still kind of up in the air.
And the crazy thing is if you want to, you can find experts that will say completely different things. There's experts that they're like, you should do this, and everybody does it, and it still happens. And then other experts go, no, do this.
Yeah. Like we've implemented so many different things. I'm sure you guys have where, if we do go out to, say, a restaurant, we've got to check in. They write our name down, phone number, all that sort of thing. Like there's apps on our phones and that sort of thing to track. If there is something that pops up, then they can trace it back. But it's just very much in limbo still. Like you don't know whether to kind of not forget about it, but move on with your life and just deal with it if it comes up, or just kind of still live in that kind of fear and, be a little bit more on the safe side. It's just, you just don't know.
Well, I'm a hugger, especially with my friends and family. Like if I don't know you, I'm not going to just walk up randomly and hug people. That's the way to get punched. But, we have this tradition of shaking hands, but I am a hugger. Yeah. And that's kind of gone away for a lot of people. And I think people miss that human contact. Yeah.
I'm exactly the same as you. You go up to meet people, even people that you haven't seen for a while, and you're like, are we doing this? Like, what's happening? Hey, give me a hug.
Turn your head.
Yeah. Or like these ones. But, I worked out the other day. I had to do this other little like Corona certificate for training and that sort of thing. It only dawned on me, like they encourage you to cough into your elbow, but then they encourage you to go and like greet people with your elbow. So is that not just like I don't know. Anyways.
There's no rhyme or reason. There's none. There's no rhyme or reason. They just want us. I think there's a group of people that just, like I said, as you get older, you get more scared of things. Yeah. And I just stay in my house now. I just stay here. I've
definitely limited stuff. I've started to go out a couple of times. Like we've been to restaurants and that sort of thing, but probably not as much as what we used to. So
I'm the old guy that sits on the front porch and waves at people. And, they're like, stay away from that guy. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. How you doing? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about coaching and what that looks like. You, through Chastity and Jen and Zeus, you guys do groups.
Yes. Groups.
And if you're watching this and it's now or 6 months from now and you go, I want to find out about a group, go to flamovement.com, look up Chastity Snowden, and you can see if there's groups available and where you're active. But you like the group dynamic, don't you?
Yeah, it's different because, there's always people that are going to want to work individually, one-on-one. But within a group, I think because the nutrition space for a lot of people is so unknown, you can always find like a training program or something through anywhere on the websites and that sort of thing. But you look up nutrition and it's very, very confusing. Like how many detox teas are out there? Do this for 8 weeks and you'll be shredded, and do this quick fix. Like there's all of that. And I think the information's so confusing and overwhelming as well. Coming into the group spaces when you've got Chas is probably like our main, she's boss lady. And then you'll either have me, Jen, or Zeus in the group as well. And you've got people that don't know anything about nutrition. There's people that do know it, but they just need that extra accountability. So everybody kind of leans into each other. There's a lot more support. And then within the groups, like we catch up every week on, similar to like this on a Zoom call. And everybody just gets to chat and you get to meet new people and you're all in it together. I think it's a really good dynamic and environment to be in within the group.
And it only takes one person in a group to be the first one to open up, and it almost gives permission to everybody else. And I know you've seen it in the dynamic, and I've do a lot of seminars, and if from small groups to big groups, but if you start asking questions, all it really takes is one person to go, this is who I am and this is what I'm struggling with. And it's almost like everybody else has permission.
Yeah. And a lot of the times, like I said before, people are going through the same experiences. So if you do happen to be one of those people that are a little bit more introverted and someone else brings it out, next thing you're like, okay, I'm good. Let's talk about this. And I mean, a lot of the times with nutrition, it's not the nutrition that's the problem. It's, the thing that's gone wrong at work. It's the fight with your partner that's, whatever's happened there, or something's gone wrong. And, next thing there's a block of chocolate in your cupboard and you fix yourself by eating that. So yeah, it's just being able to be open and then meeting new people and getting that support from everybody in the group.
I think, to be honest with you, I think a lot of it is, and I used this the other day when I was on another radio show talking about just different habits in general, business habits of, scheduling stuff. We are so busy now. And even before Corona, we were all stressed. We move at a faster pace. And all it takes is, I don't care how old you are, all it takes is a few months, a few weeks. You wake up, it's been a year. And now you've got all these habits and you don't know where to start. I can't sleep. I'm either not hungry or I'm always hungry. I go on a fast. I don't lose weight. I lose the weight. I gain it back. I got 5,000 websites, and it's almost like we just shut down and go, I need something easy. So where's the magic pill?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I said this to Chas the other day. It's that analysis by paralysis kind of thing. There's just so much information. And like you said, we've got no time, a lot of us. Also, too, I think we put so much time into work or to training or to our relationships and that sort of thing. And the food's the thing that gets neglected the most. So,
well, here's the thing about food that I always have struggled with is up until about 10 years ago, I could eat cardboard with butter on it and I stayed in good shape. It didn't matter. So when all the smart people that were older than me going, dude, get your diet right, I'm like, I'm different. You don't understand. I am in, this whole aging thing is for you old people. Well, what I found out is that it all starts in the kitchen. Your workouts are better. Your energy levels are better. And I'll tell you something I saw the other day. I started having sugar cravings. This just happened since I talked to Zeus about 2 weeks ago. I went through a 5-day period where I would, you might relate to this. I love donuts.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like chocolate, but I love donuts.
Yeah.
And I like these big honey buns that have the white icing on them. Okay. I'm sorry. Is this
when
evil talk?
I finally get to travel, I think we spoke about this last time. You've got the cook up, don't you? We're going to do that. And then I'm coming for donuts too.
Well, so what I did though, is I went to the store when I was hungry, and I bought a big giant pack of them. And so what I thought I would do is just nibble around the edges where all the icing is gathered and throw the rest of it away. This sounds really sad, doesn't it? I live by myself. You can tell. I'm pathetic. Well, but let me tell you why I'm telling you this story. It took me about a day or so to figure out why I wasn't sleeping. I was crashing. I mean, in the middle of the day, literally having to take 5 or 10 minute cat naps, and my knees started hurting like crazy. And it hit me. I've not had this much sugar in months, and here I'm sticking it in my body. Please tell me you've had mistakes like that.
Yeah, all the time. It's the inflammation. Hey, Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest thing is my sweet tooth, and it does happen. Like, but I guess that's the thing. Like, once you start building the habits, then you can allow yourself to have that sort of thing and not completely cut them out. Work out how it fits within the goals that you want to achieve. And then that way, all of that sort of stuff becomes more sustainable, and it's not that kind of binging habit.
Well, here's what I like about the group concept, though, because what I just said, if you were to say that into a group, first of all, people are going to smile like you did and go, we've done that too. Second, you'll get some accountability and some encouragement. And third, you actually can start facing your problems because you hit the nail on the head. The reason I was doing that was for something else. Something else was happening. In our world.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's we had a call the other day, and I can't remember what the problem was, but it came up, and me and Chas are just like, "Didn't that happen to you on Monday?" And we're like, "Yep, that was us." And like we even use the group to keep ourselves accountable, because even as coaches, like yes, we chat with Jen and Zeus and Chas together on our own. But man, we're in these groups, and I don't know if you guys have seen, I'll use him as an example, Glenn. He's lost so much weight, and this guy trains like every day, and you look at his spreadsheet. So we use spreadsheets to take, to track all the macros and the progress that we've made over the years. Like, I think that's how long Glenn's been working with Chas. And you just look at it and you think, this guy gets results because he's so consistent, and you just scroll through his numbers. And yes, he'll have a bad week here and there, but it's just the consistency over time. And, me and Chas were struggling with it a couple of weeks ago, and you call it falling off the wagon. That's what people normally call it. And we'll be in this group, and it's like, man, if our clients can do this, we really need to pull our finger out and get back on it, because it's not easy,
How important it is for us to track? How important is that for you?
It's important. I mean, a couple of things. It shouldn't be something, I don't think, that you have to do for life. It does sometimes get monotonous, and it can be a pain in the butt. Like, I'll be honest, sitting there going, I need to weigh every single thing. But if you need to reach a goal, you can't guess and just go, well, I think this is enough. I think I'm having this. If you're training, how are you supposed to know if you're actually eating enough to fuel your performances, and make sure also that you're recovering properly after that? So I think it's essential to track. It's also a really eye-opening experience working out what is in your foods. Some people think, eating a burger is bad, but you could go out and eat a salad that has all this dressing in it that could be way worse than a burger. And here you are eating a burger, beating yourself up over it, when you've thought that you've eaten a salad that's super healthy, but it's the complete opposite. So it just opens your eyes up to what's in food as well.
Well, one of the other things is when you go through a group like what you lead and what you do, is you learn that you don't really have to cut things out. I think one of the things that we all fear is, I don't ever get to have a donut. If I want to look like this or feel like this, well, there goes chocolate or there goes popcorn. And in reality, the tracking teaches you moderation.
Yeah, 100%. I guess I never hide any of that from my clients as well. Like, they know how much chocolate I eat and have eaten on accident and intentionally, because if you're not real with them, like, I would never tell them, oh, I never eat sweets and that sort of thing. Like, if you checked my Instagram, there's donuts every weekend. That's my staple.
That's the only reason I follow
my favorite donut store. I go to my favorite store. I'll probably eat 2 on a Saturday, and I don't care. But it fits in. I make it fit. That way I can look forward to having that at the end of the week. It kind of keeps me more on track during the week, knowing that when the weekend comes around, I can be a little bit more loose with my food. But during the week, I'm more regimented. I'm not going to say strict, because I'm never perfect. It's just trying to work and be as consistent as I can be with my food.
And it's all about momentum, because once you start keeping some I've heard you guys say it before, you congratulate people for showing up for themselves.
Yeah.
And all it takes is, bad habits, bad mindsets, using the negative words to ourselves, that bad inner voice, all that are habits we just didn't pay attention to. They developed because we weren't intentional. But all it really takes is a little bit of momentum going in the right direction. And then all of a sudden, you may fall off the wagon on Tuesday for one thing, but you start holding yourself accountable. And that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And it is like what you said. If you do fall off, that's okay. Just don't make that happen on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Like, life happens, shit happens. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on here, but that's life, Even people will be as planned as they can be, and then they go out for a date night or something, and like a brownie comes out. And I would much rather have good memories and enjoy the experience than go home and go, oh, I really wish I ate some of that brownie. But
you know what'll happen? If you do that all the time, you'll go buy 5 boxes of donuts and binge it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you completely fall off. And then that's just built with guilt and shame and all that sort of thing. Yeah. That's me too. That's me too.
That's the book I'm writing. Guilt and Shame by Clint
Guilt
Powell.
and shame.
I will come back and touch on the coaching thing. Can you spend a few more minutes with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
All good.
I want to talk to you about something that we barely touched on last time. You're a competitive person. You like playing sports. See, now my theory on working out is I like going to the gym. I like that, but I've always kind of had goals. Either I was trying to play for a sport or an event, or there was a bench press or a squat, and once you start losing that, I kind of lost a little motivation to go to the gym. But why am I going if there's no end result? But you're an athletic person. Are you a competitive person, or are you the type of person that goes to the gym and you can go to the gym?
I'm quite the opposite. I'm very, very competitive. I find it hard to dial back a lot. I think because from playing elite sports since I was little, I do find it hard to dial back. And I do find it hard. Like, Corona's knocked out my whole year. I was supposed to go to Mexico for a World Cup in September. Our national tournament got called off. I don't even know.
Are you talking about soccer, or what are you talking
about? Baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was all planned. Like, I'm turning 37 this year, and this was kind of like not my last chance, but World Cups happen every 2 years. So I thought, well, I might as well give it one more crack and see if I can get in the team. And it all got called off. So even now, like, I'm loving the training that I'm doing fitness wise, but what am I training for? Am I just training to stay fit? Am I just training for aesthetics? Like, do I like the way I look? Do I just keep trying to maintain that?
It's hard.
It's hard. And then also too, like, getting older. I mean, you would know, you've probably had benchmark lifts that you used to be able to do when we were 21 or 25 or something, but our brains still, I mean, I'm old, I don't feel old, and I feel like I'm probably 21, and I'm like, yeah, I can still do all of this, and like, I'm not far off, but it bites you in the ass sometimes.
Well, and yes, and as you get older, I had this conversation a couple of days ago on a radio show. Your ego, you have to put your ego in check. I found I had to redefine my goals, and it wasn't that I had to settle for less, but maybe it's I get a weight for more reps rather than going for a 1 rep max, or maybe I had to go I have to go generate some sort of competition or conflict. I have to find something. And that's why I think the things like the Spartan race or the Tough Mudders are so popular, is because people have something to do.
Yes.
They have to
But then
go.
again, like, all of that's been called off. So I know people, like, I think this year's probably something where it's been a lot of internal motivation as well. I know I've got a client that I work with, and he was scheduled to do a half Ironman, and like, that's I'm just going to kind of train for a little race, and that's now just been called off like 4 weeks out from the race, and he's gutted. Like, what do you do? So I think it is now, we're talking about, can he map out the course and do it just on his own somewhere? Because this is what this year has kind of thrown at us. So I think if you can come up with those little goals, scale some things back, and like you said, do more reps than potentially go in and
or try something
hurt
new.
yourself on a 1 RM, or try something new, take up something else. Like, yeah, I know a lot of people now that with Corona, they're walking every morning. That's huge.
I walk every day.
Walk, you know,
Yeah.
10,000 steps or even 5,000 steps for people a day is a tough reach when they're working from home, because you're here, you don't have to move anywhere, everything's in the house. Whereas when you're out in the office or something, you're up and out, you're moving, you're transiting there and back. So yeah.
So do you play on is it a co-ed baseball team, all girls, or is it a boys team and you play on that? How does it work?
No, it's all women. So it was the Open Women's Australian team. We also had our state team. So, I guess easy one would be like you'd play for Florida as a state. So we were New South Wales, but that was supposed to be back in April, I think, before maybe around the last time we chatted. That was the first tournament to get called off. And then, yeah, I think they're looking at maybe moving the World Cup to next year. But what do you do?
My daughter's a great softball player. She's 16. She's third base. And she asked all the time, she goes, I think I should try baseball too. What position do you play?
I was playing shortstop. I do a little bit of pitching, more of a closer kind of position. But I think I was moving over to second base this year, but kind of like at the moment utility, because it's more so how long can my shoulder stay attached to my arm stay attached to my body, I should say. It's had a couple surgeries, so it's hanging on.
What other sports do you play? What other sports are you into?
Oh God, like I was doing CrossFit. I was doing kickboxing not long before that.
Oh, that's right. We talked. You wanted to do a fight.
Yeah, I wanted to do a fight at the same time as doing a CrossFit competition. That's me. Do everything all at once.
So when we get back to normal, are you going to try to do the fight again?
No, I don't think so. I've moved suburbs, and my old coach that used to look after me, I think we're about, 40 minutes or something away now. So, yeah, it's just a bit hard traveling that far.
Well, I asked you this last time. I'm going to ask it to you. I'm going to ask you again. Your favorite exercise to do? And it doesn't have to be a CrossFit exercise. Do you have a favorite exercise or a favorite body part?
Favorite body part? I don't say. I love my traps. They're quite large. I don't do anything for those, unfortunately. I don't know. I've actually been enjoying back squatting again. It's been something that I don't enjoy a lot because I've had a previous back injury through gymnastics. So it's more mentally challenging for me, but the new programming that I'm following at the moment is giving me a lot more confidence to get that stronger, and I feel stronger. But I mean, I love handstand walking, handstand push-ups, that sort of thing. I don't mind toes to bar, actually. And then I guess like my favorite Olympic lift would be snatching. That's fun.
You know what it kills me about squats, because I do a lot of stuff that's not the heavy lifts anymore. This is going to sound weird. Do you know what prevents me and causes me the most pain when I do a back squat now? My shoulders. Getting them.
Oh, really?
I am so tight.
The mobility back.
Oh my God. My left one, I hurt. Literally, my range of motion is so bad that it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Onto that. That's all the stuff we need to do more of that none of us do.
I can't.
You can hear my chiro in my ear.
Well, I used to go back before COVID at least a couple times a year and have deep tissue.
Yeah.
They make you cry, the deep tissue massage. It's terrible.
Like what's your the bed like?
They gave me a towel for this shoulder so bad. They gave me a towel, told me to bite down on it. My buddy is a massage, and he grabbed it. And it's not, when I say massage, everybody's like, oh, the candles. There was no candles. No. I was sitting up on a bench. He gave me a towel. His name's Mackie. He's over here at Nutrition World in Chattanooga. And he started doing stuff, and I could hear it, and it hurt. And I thought, well, this is bad, but not too bad. He goes, and he felt me react, and he goes, okay. And he kept his hands there, and he goes, okay, now we're ready. I need you to bite. I thought, Oh, we hadn't started yet. Well, damn.
I just like how it's like bite down. It's not like now breathe in and breathe out. Just bite the towel.
I'm gonna cause you some pain. What's your least favorite exercise?
Running. I hate running.
I do too.
With a passion. I would do anything else. If you told me to swim a kilometer, I'd probably be more happy to swim a kilometer than run a kilometer.
Do you know what I found that I like though? That rowing.
Yeah, you don't like it?
No, I like it. I
you
don't
like
get
it?
to do it a lot, but I found that in place of the treadmill or a bike, rowing to me, because in my brain, I can make it competitive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh man, if you were beside me right now, I'd be kicking your ass. Are you kidding me?
I'll have to challenge you on that one.
Yeah, well, let me give me some time. You're 37 there. Hold on a second. I got to put a date on a calendar and go find me a rowing machine.
That can be our new goal.
Yeah,
whenever we can travel again.
What's the habit other than the donuts? What's a habit? Because this is good for people to hear, and we're going to wrap it up talking about coaching again. What's the habit you struggle with? Is it your water? Is it macros? Is it sleep? What is it?
Sleep's my worst. I don't think I've ever really been a great sleeper. We did a challenge, Chas and I, a couple months ago, and what I find, it's not great at the best of times, but when my calories get too low, it gets worse. So I think I came down to, if anyone knows, 1,600 calories. It's really not that low in the big scheme of things. But as soon as mine start to drop, my sleep gets worse. I wake up multiple times during the night. I then can't fall back to sleep. So, coaching, I need to wake up at, 5:20 a.m. or something. And I'll find myself waking up at, 3:30, 4 a.m. just wide awake, unable to get back to sleep. So that's been the habit that I've been concentrating on since stopping my little cut. I'm now eating, I think, 500 more calories now, having to give up the kind of aesthetic look for a little while, because eating food and more of it can help fix your sleep. So that's my goal at the moment, is trying to take on more food to fix my sleep.
And sleep is, I think, one of those things, again, when you're young, you don't know how important it really is.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever tried a product called GABA, GABA?
I have not tried that yet. I'm currently, it's on the list. That's on the next, down the to-do list. I've started with magnesium and magnesium spray to see if that helps. Kind of on the fence with that one. And then I've just started taking, is it ZMA or Z? Yeah, it's ZMA. We say Z and Z's differently, which is like a zinc magnesium B6, I think, supplement that's supposed to help with sleep and recovery. But again, I've only just started that again this week, so we'll see how that goes.
CBD can help too a little bit if you take some CBD.
Not allowed here.
Oh, it's not?
No. That's how far behind Australia is with the times.
You said that a little sarcastically.
Oh, it's ridiculous. You guys have it all in like your drinks, the vape things. Like you even have marijuana legalized here, where like in the Stone Age, it's got so many benefits, and it's like, can we just get it already? Like, it's got so many benefits. I've been reading up on it a lot. I think you can get it here, supposedly. I don't know, but I don't think it's legal. So,
you've got access to all that stuff way more than I do. Let's wrap it up talking a little bit more about coaching. And one more question though: what's your tattoo of? Is it a Congo? Is it a story?
This one?
Yeah. What is it?
Well, not so much a story, but I've got a koi fish on my back.
Oh, okay.
So I lived in Japan for a little bit and loved the culture and all that sort of thing. So I think I wanted to get something Japanese to remind me of my time spent over there playing baseball and all that sort of things, and the trips that I've done. So that's the koi fish on that side, and then that will be the Japanese arm if it continues. But that's a flower with some waves.
I've got a buddy that has a unbelievable one from here down to his wrist, and it's gears and mechanical stuff. He's a bodybuilder, and it's I've got a couple. I got a small one, so I always, when I see tattoos like that, I go, Those aren't cheap though. They're
They're
not
not
cheap.
cheap, and once you start, you can't stop.
No. All right, coaching. If you're watching this and you think, okay, I'd like to find out more about what it means to track macros, to what it looks like to be part of a group in the coaching environment, you can go to flamovement.com. It's scrolling on the bottom. It's in the description. It's Chastity Snowden along with Renee, Zeus, and Jen.
Yeah.
And of the three, it's Chastity Snowden, Jen Johnston, and I can't pronounce the other, Straumietis.
Straumietis, yep.
Straumietis.
And Susanna Foldiova.
Foldiova. I've kind of got that one. I practiced it a bunch.
Yeah.
Foldiova. By the time we do this again with you, it'll be like butter on a roll.
Yeah.
Like hot icing on a donut. So
stop it. It's Saturday tomorrow.
Have you ever heard of Krispy Kreme?
Yes, we've got that here.
Well, they get them hot donuts. There's one about 5 miles from here, and I actually drive around it now, so I don't tempt myself.
Yeah, that's a smart idea.
All right, so we go there if you want to do the coaching. Let's end it with this. Is there any one piece of advice you would give somebody that may be sitting there struggling, going, I've tried these diets, I've tried this, I've tried that. Is there a place you would tell them to start? Is there a word of encouragement you'd want to give them? Is there anything you want to give to people right now as we wrap this up that may be thinking about trying to find a new way to feel better?
It might turn into a couple things. I think don't try and overhaul everything all at once. I think if you look at the food that you're eating, if you do wrap your head around tracking, like you can jump onto MyFitnessPal, it's just a food tracking app. You can scan barcodes and that sort of thing. You weigh your food. Just look at what you're currently eating. It doesn't mean that you have to completely like scrap out all meat and turn vegetarian or cut out all the carbs. Just look at what you're eating and make small changes. It might be that, you're eating a donut every day. Maybe just try and eat 4 donuts over the week, and then the next week make it 2 donuts a week, and then it turns into 1. I know during Corona, a lot of people have started drinking. Same thing, like if you're having 5 glasses of wine a week, maybe just cut it down and try 3. So I think it's tackling a habit. So whether it's like 1 week you look at your food and see where you might be able to make a change there. If you're not being active enough, don't try and hit 10,000 steps. It's something that's unachievable. Maybe aim at hitting 3,000 daily, and then the next week make it 4,000 daily. Once you've got a hang of that, then look at your water. How much water am I drinking? Because once you kind of focus on a habit, get that solidified, and then layer something else on top of that instead of going, I need to fix my sleep, my food, my water. I've got to get to the gym. I've got to train 5 times, make sure I'm recovering. Am I doing my mobility? It's too much. And even when you know everything, it's still a lot to take on. So I think just pick one thing, look at that, get that under control, and then pick up another habit. That would probably be the thing. Well,
and I think that's what the coaching helps you with, because if you're part of this group, you as the leader will help people focus. Okay, this week, once you get the baseline, this week, guys, we're going to focus on this.
Yeah. And that's what we do. Like once you're in the group, we kind of throw you in the deep end. A lot of people have never tracked macros before. So the first 1 to 2 weeks this is what fats are. This is how proteins work. These are why they're important. This is how you track it in MyFitnessPal. Then the next week, we start with a habit. It might be water, for example. So that week we concentrate on water, the benefits of it, why we should do it. Next week, again, how's our sleep? We start talking about sleep, the benefits of that, and how much better you'll feel once you finally try and sleep 7 hours plus a night. So it's good. It starts small, one thing at a time. It goes, I think the groups run for about 12 weeks. So it's a big commitment, but you've got the support behind you and the accountability with not only us as coaches, but everybody else that's in the group.
That's awesome. I appreciate you taking the time I say this here, people watching it, on a Friday morning in Sydney, Australia. You're in Sydney, right?
Sydney, yeah. It's 9:40 a.m. here, yeah.
9:40 a.m. You've already had breakfast.
I've had breakfast. I made sure to eat that before I got on. Otherwise, I might not have been in such a good mood.
Do you get hangry?
All the time.
Well, I'm about to go eat dinner. So with that on a
Oh,
Thursday.
enjoy that. Yeah,
Yep.
what are you having?
Oh, I don't know yet. I'll go in there and throw it up. And don't do that. I may have a donut now that you've stressed me.
But
You've
you're allowed
triggered.
one. You're allowed one,
You're
remember?
triggered.
All in moderation.
All right. Well, when we get to traveling up again, I look forward to seeing you and Zeus, and hopefully everybody can get down to see Chastity, and we'll all go get a big group and go say hi to everybody.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll chat to you soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.